Hi guys, and welcome. I wanted to talk to you guys about this Kirker brand paint. A lot of guys have been asking about it. It's very inexpensive. It has some advantages. It also has some disadvantages. Let's kind of get into what this paint is, how it works, and what you can do with it. Because it can save you a lot of money. A lot of you guys who are afraid to paint your car, maybe you don't have enough money to do it. Maybe you could use this paint to do it. So let's get into it. So real quick, I just painted this tailgate, and I used this color called Mine Gold. Now maybe you guys will be like, oh my god, you know, why would I paint it that color? Well, part of the reason is because the interior on this truck is like gold. Okay, it's got to have something that goes with this, right? So if I painted it like blue, it's not going to work, right? So, you know, maybe somebody would be more interested in that. And if I painted it brown again, I've got to go buy original color base coat, and it's not going to be cheap. And on top of that, it's not a very nice color. It's kind of ugly. All right, so I wanted to upgrade it a little and I have to stay in the gold family, so I went with this Mayan Gold. So it looks kind of neat. It's a little different. Okay, but what you need to know about this paint is it's a little bit different than your normal base coat. So if you're thinking, hey, I can just order their base coat, put it on, put clear on it, it might be a little bit more challenging than what you're thinking. But it works amazing when you do it the right way. People are like, hey, is that paint good? Is it going to last? I'm sure it will. I also painted my dump trailer with it. We'll go take a look at that. She's all dirty, but it still looks really good up close, if you can see. I don't know, those are probably old runs from underneath, but still has a nice shine to it. But that's not what I'm going to show you. I did not prep anything in here. I didn't sand it. I didn't do anything. The finish that was on here was oil-based, and it was dull. So look at this. You cannot separate this paint from the old paint. It is on there, and I did not sand this. So with limited prep, okay, this paint adheres excellent. So that's one of the best properties about it. The second thing is it, like if you use this in lieu of using Rust-Oleum, it's going to take longer for it to turn to chalk. Because it's a urethane, and urethanes will retain their gloss longer than a oil base. Oil bases, especially now with all the VOC changes we've had over the last 20 years, they don't hold their gloss nearly as long as a urethane. So for almost a few dollars more than Rust-Oleum, you can put this on there, and you'll have a much better product on there. That's the reason I put this on the dump trailer. And it did really well because I put a whole bunch of logs in here and dumped them, and it didn't even scratch. I mean, it wouldn't scratch through. Main thing is I just didn't want to I don't want this to happen, okay, all over inside there. So the good things about this paint, with very limited prep, it's stuck on there really good. I don't know if it will on all the surfaces, but it sure did on that dump trailer. All I did was power wash the inside of that thing. I did not sand it at all. No sanding. Okay, the outside of it, I sanded just a little bit, just ran over it. Basically, it was a scratchy pad, and a little bit of sanding on the edges and here and there. Not much prep. It did not fisheye. It went on there really nice. It actually works really good with limited prep. So for your old trailers and stuff like that, it's amazing. Really good frames, stuff like that. I would use this paint all day long, okay? Because you're going to be able to get the color you want. Now, the downside to this paint is it is only available in these colors right here. So you can order one of these color charts, and please don't do it unless you're going to buy this stuff, because these things are expensive. These are very expensive to make, and they will willingly ship them out to me from Auto Body Tool Mart's website. And I've bought several things from Auto Body Tool Mart, and everything I've gotten, they've always shipped it on time. Never had an issue with them ever. So I've gotten a lot of things from them. All right. So they sent this out. I got it within about a week, and it did cost them. They paid for the shipping and everything. So yeah, it was FedExed and everything. So, but I did get this, and so I could see what the colors are myself. And if you're a painter and you're trying to do multiple things, I would definitely say get a color chart. But some of the things I found with this is, again, they only have these colors. So that's a disadvantage. All right. And I wish they had something closer to this color here. I was looking at this burnt copper online, and I just looked at it. I mean, when I got the chart, I was like, man, that is really, really red. It just looks like a red, a little bit burnt red. So I was kind of like, it's not going to work really well with the interior. I kind of need more of a gold. So then I got the Mayan gold here, which looked, which you can see. Here's the Mayan gold chip, and here's what it looks like here. I mean, it's not exactly, and it looks the same, but it sure does look darker on the chip. Of course, never looks quite the same as it does out here. It looks kind of bright. On here it looks pretty dull. So anyway, just so you know, you're going to get a little bit of difference in color with this kind of paint. So these things are basically, it says here, they have the products here. So they have LVB, that's a base coat, low VOC base coat. And you might say, well, that's a regular base coat. No, it's still a two-part system. It's basically very similar to the single stage, but it just doesn't go on as shiny, and you can put clear over it. But you can put clear over this product. I did this, and it'll adhere fine. I've done that a lot of times with regular single stage, and then put clear over it. But there's a little bit of a trick to doing that. You want to make sure that the base is the base color, which this would be the base color, is single stage urethane, is dry to touch, but maybe not dry to like sit on. Dry to touch where you could, pretty well, you won't get sticky finger when you push your finger on there, and then you can put your clear on. It has to be catalyzing pretty well before you can put the clear. And if you end up waiting overnight, I did this a little late in the day last night, and it was too late to put the clear on. So, and I couldn't wait for the base to dry. So what I did is in the morning, I took 4-0 steel wool and I just scuffed it. Now, if you try and do that with metallic, like if you used regular sandpaper and like 800 grit or 1000 grit or something like that, a lot of times you're gonna burnish the metallics, okay? And when you burnish the metallics and you put the clear on, you're gonna see it. It'll look horrible. So, but the 4-0 steel wool was a little trick I've learned from years ago, and it worked fine because, again, I just kind of want to open it back up again. It was still fresh. I just painted it last night, and I wanted to get that finish opened up enough for the clear to stick. So I was able to do that with that single stage urethane as a base. So it works really good, but there's some advantages discounted. One of the advantages is it's cheap. It's super cheap. The disadvantage is you have to choose one of these colors. So you may or may not like the color you look at. So that's the issues you might run into. Some of the things people might try. Okay, you might say, okay, you know what? I'll just order the metallic paint and then I won't put the clear on it. Well, I'm going to tell you right now from experience, I did a lot of single stage metallic paints back in the 80s, and it dies quickly. So if you don't put clear on over the metallics, there's no UV protector. All there is clear binder that's in the paint that will actually protect that for a short period of time, and then eventually that clear binder kind of wears away because it's thin, and then you've got just metallics, and when those metallics get that sun, it starts to kill the paint. So if you can, put a nice clear coat over it. It does work really well over this product, and just got to make sure it's dry enough. And you can do that and save a lot of money. For instance, these reds here, what was I looking at? Inferno Metallic right here. That red right there would be probably between $600 and $1,000 in a base coat. Probably over $1,000 today. All right. This is, I think, about $1.20, $1.30 a gallon on eBay. Auto Body Tool Mart sells on eBay, okay? And they don't care if you buy it on eBay or you buy it through them. It's a little cheaper through eBay. I don't know why, but maybe they got some special deal or whatever. But they sell on eBay, and it might be $130 shipped to your door, okay? Versus $1,200 for this. Now, the other thing to know is this comes in a 3-quart gallon. We used to call it an Earl Scheib gallon. Back in the day, Earl Scheib would fill up a gallon of paint, and they would have 2 inches, about this much, off the top of the gallon, and they'd call it a gallon. And so this one, what this is designed to do is you can add this quart to the gallon, mix it up, and use it. But then once you've done that, this is going to be no good. You know, as soon as that, it's going to catalyze and turn to hard and everything else, and you won't be able to use it. So you can use 3 parts this and 1 part activator, and it works great. So for instance, this truck, I'm going to use well over a gallon of mixed material. So normally, if I bought a gallon of base coat, it would cover this whole truck and then some. I probably only need about 3 quarts. It's a pretty big vehicle, and that's if I'm painting inside the bed and everything, a base coat. And then I put clear over that, right? This stuff, it's mixed gallon. Okay, so a gallon of base coat mix is like 2 gallons of paint. All right, so this is a gallon mixed. So that's basically, you know, about 2 quarts of material if you bought it. So still at that price, if you bought that Inferno red, it's going to be, you know, $1,200 a gallon or $1,000 a gallon, some crazy number. I won't even pay that. So if I bought that, and I'm not using that right now, but I might be using that in the future. If I did that Inferno red, it would be, you know, $1,000 in just base coat. Then you got to buy clear and everything else. With this, it'd be, say, $250 because or $280 or whatever, because I got 2 gallons of mixed material, right? So for this truck, I needed to get 2 mixed gallons for this, okay? Versus if I bought the other base coat, I could get it for about $350, the cheapest place I can get it online. At normal paint store around here, it's about between $550 and $600 for, maybe more for this brown. I don't know. This brown might be really expensive because it's got a lot of gold in it. Every color has a different price. When you go to the paint store, just so you know, if you never bought paint, they have like A, B, C, and D pricing, and that's definitely past a D. This one probably a D price, and this one here is probably past D. They have like pricing past that, E or F or something crazy. And these guys pretty much are the same all the way through. Black and white's obviously cheaper, and some of the darker colors, maybe some of the reds are just a little bit more, but not much. So it's actually a pretty good deal. Now the thing you'll notice with this, for instance on this paint, if you see the metallics on the color chart are very large. That's kind of what you used to see when you bought the old Western synthetic enamel. I don't even think they make it anymore, but the old synthetic enamel that used to use at like Mako. And they used to have these bigger metallics in it, which may or may not be what you're looking for. So when you look at some of these are kind of a pearl metallic, really fine. So they do have some finer metallics in some of their paints, and some of them have the bigger ones. It's almost like a metal flake, which some people don't like because it looks, you know, they might say, oh, well, that looks like Mako or something like that. It's just up to you. That's, you know, for the price, you can't beat it. Yeah, this Mayan Gold has a really big metallic. It's almost metal flake. I mean, it's so to spray this stuff, the next thing. Some people are going to go, well, I can't spray metallics. This stuff has something in it. If you look on their website, it says it has something in it that makes the metallics go uneven. They're not joking. I would put this on here. I did not drop coat this, nothing. I just sprayed it and they just shot on really even. As long as you don't put it on too heavy and get runs, then you'll have problems. But it went on really easy. Again, I'm using a high-end spray gun. If you're using the old Harbor Freight piece of junk $10 gun, people are going to say, oh, well, it's all up to the spray man. If you can, well, technically, probably that's true. But if you just spend a couple $100 and get yourself a decent gun, you're going to take your 80% of the work out of it. So for a couple $100, you can buy one of these Porpoise. There it is, 717. I don't know, that's $250. I'm not sure exactly. And take all the effort out of spraying. It just goes down really easy. I use the Porpoise minigun. This one right here is about $100, I think. And it sprayed that down with the Clear X effortlessly. And I used a universal clear. I did not use their clear. I've seen on the websites or different forums, guys have tried their clear and they said they can't spray it. It's probably because their gun was a piece of crap. If you used a good gun, I'm sure you could probably spray their clear just fine. You know, they use the purple gun from Harbor Freight. No, it won't spray it. Well, duh. You know, you use a $10 gun. What are you going to get? You know? This is about $100 for one of these. I'll put links in the description for these as well. I'm just going to throw this in here. This is the clear I used right here. Euro Clear. The place where I get this from is called Refinish Depot. They have their own website. They do no tax and free shipping included with the price. So when you look at the prices, you'll see it's a super good deal. No shipping, no tax. Okay, already prepaid tax and shipping, so you can't beat that. And this is a high solids clear, 54% solids. I put that on, I use it on everything from now on until I find a better one. And every once in a while I'll try something different. And you can use whatever clear you want. If you're one of those guys that watches other YouTube channels and they use that Finish one, please don't. The Acme Finish one, not a very good clear. Okay, not very good. And it's really no cheaper than that one is, because that gives you 2 mixed gallons. The other one gives you 1 gallon and a quart, and it's just a little bit more money, and you have a nice high solids clear. It has a much this doesn't die back. This is dry. Okay, this is completely dry. Okay, and look at the shine on that. It is super shiny. And so this stuff is high solids, good quality product, and you just really can't beat a good high solids clear. Those ones are not high solids. They die back. They blush when you put it on too heavy. If you get a little run in that product, it might even pinhole. Those are just mistakes. There's things you don't want to have to deal with. You get a run with this, it's just going to be a run. You just razor blade it off, sand it down and buff it. You're done. You don't have this. You have to respray and respray the base coat as well because it pinholed in the run. That's a cheap product. Don't use those things. You guys stay away from those cheap things. This one's a good one that's cheap. So overall, what do I think about the Kirker brand stuff? I think it's really good for guys who are looking for something cheap. You know, if you're looking for something inexpensive and you get a color that you like off this chart, and you're not looking to try and make the factory color again. If you're trying to get the factory color again, the best place to get that again is that same place, Refinish Depot. They sell base coat too. But, you know, it's a little more money. So if you're looking to save a few dollars and you go, hey, you know what, I could use this here, pure white or this bright white or these things here, you could put 2 coats or 3 to 4 coats of this on and buff it and not even put clear on it and have a single stage urethane, and I'm sure it would turn out nice. I don't know how well this product buffs, but I imagine from using it that would probably buff just great. In fact, I was surprised how smooth with this Mayan Gold I was able to get the finish by just spraying it nice and even without having to drop coat it or anything. I just sprayed it evenly, and the metallics all flowed out perfectly, and it actually got almost no orange peel. And unfortunately, I didn't get to show you guys that without the clear, because I'm always going to put clear over metallics, okay? Always. They just last a lot longer. So anyway, just a little bit there to show you guys, if you were looking at this Kirker brand and going, hey, you know what, I have no idea, you can take a shot in the dark. There's a little bit of light at the end of the dark. It's actually not bad, and it actually works pretty good. And but again, the issue with it is the color limitations, okay, and the fact that it is a single stage urethane, and you're to put clear over it. If you're using a metallic color, you're gonna want to put clear on it. You know, to put clear over it, you gotta wait. And another thing I was gonna say is one of the issues with that. So if you said, hey, I can just use Valspar and I'll do the same thing. Valspar has a lot more open time than this does, okay? What is that? Open time means, so let's say you're done spraying, okay, you're done spraying your base. You want that base to close up so that dust doesn't keep sticking in it. That's what open time is. So if that finish gets dry to touch quicker, then you're going to get less dirt in it between the time you base it and when you clear it. And maybe you can even you're probably going to have to wait long enough to be able to tack cloth it, okay, to be able to put clear on this. So it's going to take a good hour. Now if you use Valspar, if I'm just using them as an example, I've used that product many times. If I use Valspar to do that, I'm going to have to wait probably 3 to 4 hours to be able to tack cloth it and put clear over it. All right. This stuff, the open time is a lot less. It's maybe an hour, depending on the weather. Of course, all that stuff takes a factor in. I've had this stuff dry in as little as 30 minutes on a really hot day. I did the dump trailer and it was closed up in 30 minutes. Dust wouldn't stick to it. So that was cool. So it has a little less open time. Really nice that it does that. So limited colors, nice open time, and be sure to read the color. If you're looking here, some of this says that it says, if you read the products here, it'll say Ultra Glow single urethane top coat, and then they have this one here is a base coat, they call it, but it's really just a satin base coat, or base. It could be used. The base coats are made with the same properties as the urethane top coats, but they just don't shine as much. They're almost exactly the same. And then if you look here, these candies, some of these say UC. So if you look here and it says only available in UC 80, well, that means you got to put it over a silver to make it look like that. So remember, if you're buying those, if it's in a UC product, it's actually kind of a clear with the colorant in it. So, you know, you might want to stay away from those candies. Shooting a single stage urethane candy is not easy, okay? Only a few guys can do it. Because what happens is you get fluttering from the spray gun, and to get rid of that, normally what you do, if you're doing a candy job, which I've done several, unfortunately, when you spray that candy on, it's all about thin, even coats. So when you do candies, you're typically used to walk the whole car. You'd walk the whole car and not trigger anywhere. You just keep going all the way down and not trigger. And you'd use your paint. What I did is I used it way, way, way thin. And I would go over it and I put like 20, 30 coats on of candy. Well, you can't really do that with this product. So you're gonna have to just try and spray it on even, and you'll probably get some fluttering in the paint. It doesn't look very good. I don't like that. So I'd watch out for these UC colors and just stay away from them. But anyway, that's just my opinion. But anyway, those are things to look for when you order it. Stay with the LVB and the UA, and they may not have that color you like in those products, so find another one that you like. So anyway, that's about it for the Kirker stuff. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.